We're gonna make a breakfast biscuit sandwich, and we're gonna make our very own buttermilk biscuits with a twist. And then we'll cut those perfectly baked biscuits in half and fill them with sausage, egg, and cheese. Classic. This sounds like the perfect breakfast for dinner to me.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
Let me show you how to make these biscuits, okay? We're gonna start off with some all-purpose flour. Very nice. Biscuits are a quick bread, so we gotta put a whole bunch of baking powder in there. 2 whole tablespoons. Gonna hit it with some salt. Gonna mix that up with a Struggle Whisk 7500. I'm gonna add some cubed butter here. This is sort of like making a pie dough. You wanna work with it while it's cold and incorporate it into the flour so that you get little pockets of butter when these bake. Well, I don't wanna spend too much time doing this because the warmth of my finger will melt the butter, and I really want the butter to keep its shape and not liquefy. So it is a working against the clock kind of thing. Can't have a buttermilk biscuit without buttermilk. So this is gonna add some nice rich fattiness as well as some tang, which both gives it heft and lightness at the same time. It's literally gravity defying. I'm gonna come in with some sour cream for additional tang. Coming into the package drawer for some honey. It's gonna add some sweetness to our biscuits. So I just wanna bring this till it just comes together. I don't wanna overmix this dough, otherwise it's not gonna be flaky. Now I'm gonna add in some cheddar cheese. We're making cheesy biscuits. It's really important to me that you buy a whole block of cheese and you never buy anything pre-grated. It's more affordable in block form, it melts better, and it lasts longer. You got so many layers of flavor here, but I think we could add chives on top of it to make it even better. And I don't go out and buy packets of chives. No, I buy a plant and I let it grow in my window so that when I pick it, it grows back. It's like never-ending flavor. Chives and cheese. They both start with C. I love a cheesy, chivy biscuit. We're gonna have a flaky, buttery dough. I'm bringing it together. I don't wanna overwork it here because the least amount of work is the best kind of biscuit. But we gotta bring it together just a little bit more, not too much. Each movement is sort of like a point against you. Try not to do more than like 10. I really just do not want that butter into tiny little homogeneous pieces. I'm gonna lay a little flour out on the work surface. Boop, 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 boop. So now I'm gonna try to make this a 1-inch rectangle. Push it down, flatten this out. You can see how I'm really trying to be gentle with it, but it's still really chunky, and that's great. We've got our 1-inch tall biscuit here. It's still all craggly. I can even see a giant piece of butter right here, which I'm really happy about. We need to cut this out into biscuits. And there are companies that'll sell you a biscuit cutter, but you don't need one because literally any glass is a biscuit cutter for free. I've got a jar. All right, so we'll push it in. We'll give it a twist. Bum-ba-ba, biscuit goes onto sheet tray. Let's cut out another biscuit. We're gonna give our biscuits a nice little shine by painting some buttermilk onto them. Sort of like an egg wash without using an egg, because I want the eggs on the inside, but it also acts as a glue for our secret ingredient, which is everything bagel seasoning. You have all the spices probably to make your own blend. That would be the most efficient way to do this. You could totally just do salt. You could totally just do dried garlic flakes. You could totally just do sesame seeds. All right, these are looking fantastic. We're gonna bake these at 425 for about 15 or 20 minutes. While our biscuits are baking, let's cook up some eggs and some sausages. It ain't a breakfast sandwich for dinner. It doesn't have eggs. We're gonna make scrambled eggs, which means we have to scramble them. Scramble! We're gonna put some butter in the pan because it's the perfect fat for cooking scrambled eggs. Yes. I'll give this a nice little toss, and I'm really gonna keep my eye on this. We'll let the bottom of that start to solidify a little bit. So I've got some frozen sausages here. I'm just gonna go right onto a cast iron skillet with them. All we have to do is heat them through. Okay, back to our eggs. See those curds that are forming? So you can just kind of push the eggs to the center. That's what I like to do. As they start to come together and really start looking cooked, I'll turn it down more and more, all the way till I'm low. We want that heat to sort of taper off so we don't go past where we want them cooked. And I like to wait until my eggs are kind of solidified before I add salt, because the salt tends to bring out a whole bunch of liquid in the eggs. Mix that salt in real good, get it into a nice long shape, and then chop, 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 chop. My eggs are 99% done. So I'm gonna turn off the heat here. There's enough residual heat in the eggs and in the pan to take it to perfect egg doneness. Nothing runny, it's holding the shape really well. To me, this is a perfect scrambled egg. Let's flip our sausages. And while these heat on the other side, I'm gonna melt some American cheese over top. It just takes a second for that cheese to melt, so we can turn off the heat now. Looking good. We got our biscuits, we got our sausage, we got our eggs. Let's make some sandwiches. It's really nice to have these big curds of scrambled egg. I think it's just gonna hold together better on the sandwich. These are looking cute, look at them. They got their nice fitting hats. And now I'm gonna dig in. No, I'm not. I'm gonna put condiments from the packet drawer because they were literally made for this sandwich. Hot sauce and ketchup! Party time! Doom, doom, doom. Yes, ketchup. I want hot sauce all over it. Oh, yes. These look totally delicious and they're only $1.69 a serving. I'm hungry for dinner. It is like system overload here. I mean, there's all kinds of textures happening. The biscuit is so flaky. The cheese is so crispy. This isn't by chance, friends. This is because we layered all kinds of flavors in there and textures. I gotta say, this would make an amazing breakfast, but I'd also love to have it for dinner.